guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm doing a ultimate Stephanie Sue inspired nail art. So I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but Stephanie is one of my favorite YouTubers. She is the only mukbanger I watch, and I love her videos so much, what with, the true crime and whatnot. But anyways, if you're interested to know how I did this nail art, then just keep on watching. So, once again, I'm going to be using my Arosa x Coastal Craze nail polish collection that Charlie and Dixie did for some of the base colors. And because I am not allowed to wear nails at work, hence why they're glued onto toothpicks here. But for the first two nail designs, which are going to be on the thumbnails, I'm starting on the first one, which is inspired by one of her merch designs called Stephanie's Pizza. She has two versions of this, one being a shirt and a hoodie. I'm actually wearing the hoodie right now as we speak. But for first things first is I'm going to go in with this light pink acrylic paint, and I'm just going to use my toothpick and roughly sketch on the outline of how the merch design looks in the middle of the nail. So I'm actually going to let the face and the hair dry, but in the meantime I'm going to go in with just some black acrylic paint and just go, around the outside of the design. Now that that's out of the way, I'm going to go back in with that same baby pink acrylic paint and my toothpick and safety pin and just start painting on her little face details. By the way, I am so sorry about that huge gap in video footage. I didn't realize my camera wasn't recording. But usually whenever I freehand any kind of nail art, I just look at a reference photo. In this case, I was just looking at the merch design just to try to mimic it on my nail. So speaking of the merch design, the original one says Stephanie's Pizza around her head, but my nail is obviously way too narrow for that. So I kept it sweet and simple, and I just painted on a little tiny pink heart right above her head. And here's the finished nail design. So for the other thumbnail, I decided to paint on Stephanie, or Miss Manglebutt herself. Once again, guys, I did this off camera, but I just went in with some black acrylic paint to paint on the outline of her face, neck, and shoulders. And by now, the black acrylic paint has completely dried, so I'm just going to go in with a peachy color for her face, pink for her shirt. I'm going to let all those layers of acrylic paint dry completely before I move on to the next step, but I'm going to go ahead and work on her hair. For this, I just mixed in a little bit of brown and black acrylic paint, and I just, painted it on like so. Okay, so by now her face has completely dried, so I went ahead and did the outline of her eyebrows and her eye shape off camera, but now as you see, I'm just going to go in with my toothpick and start filling in the white. The actual color of her eyes, once again, I just went in with that. I know it looks black on camera, but it's a black-brown mix. As for the other little face details, I decided to go in with that same pink and paint it on some blush as well as pink for the eyeshadow. Now I'm going to go in with my safety pin and black acrylic paint and just start painting on her eyelashes. I also figured I would go ahead and, just do the rest of her face details off camera. Speaking of off camera, this next part didn't film. I'm so sorry, guys, but I just went in with some pinkish red acrylic paint and painted on this, and that's pretty much the finished nail design. So I got 2 thumbnails down, but we still got 8 more fingers to go. So for the next 2 nail designs, which are going to be on the index nails, for one of those nail designs, I'm going to be painting on mukbang or mukbang, however you want to say it, but how it's written in the Korean letters, if that makes sense. I don't speak and or understand Korean. I don't speak the Lady Rainicorn language, but my brother-in-law does, and he told me that these are the right characters for mukbang in Korean. Because I had so much excess pink acrylic paint, I decided just to, paint on a little heart right up under it. And yeah, so here's the finished nail design. So for the other index nail design, this one is kind of like the first Stephanie Sue inspired nail art I did, except I'm freehanding everything. So I'm going to start near the bottom portion of the nail, and I'm just going to paint on a little In-N-Out burger. Sorry if there's no voiceover over this. I mean, as you can see, I'm just freehanding it. It's kind of easy, self-explanatory. But for the top portion, I'm just going to paint on a pepperoni pizza with all cheesy goodness. But anyways, guys, so that's pretty much it. Here is the finished nail design. Oopsie daisy, I lied. But yeah, like I said, I had excess pink acrylic paint, so I ended up painting on another heart. But Anyways, so moving on to the next two nail designs, which are going to be on the middle nails. These designs are obviously going to be inspired by her merch, the ones that I own. So for this nail, I'm going to be painting on Honey. She has different designs for the Honey merch, but the one I'm going to be using is pink, purple, and this bluish acrylic paint. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now, what you're about to witness is a nail fail. I flopped. Yeah, I first went in with that pink and I tried to write out Honey, but it ended up just blobbing all together into this huge pink strip. I then was like, okay, let me let that dry, and then I'm just going to go in with purple and just kind of, you know, work out Honey, or at least how it appears on the merch. Oh my god, Luna, will you get down? Sorry guys, my cat's like right here by the mic. But anyways, once again, it flopped even after the little drippies, so I was like, okay, let me let that dry. In the meantime, I'll just cover the background with black. I then covered Honey with, you know, some purple acrylic paints, and I was like, okay, let me let that dry. In the meantime, I'll just go in with that light blue and just, you know, outline everything. Well, after I outlined it, I then went in with just my safety pin and the pink acrylic paint and wrote out Honey finally, and I kind of like how it turned out this way, and afterwards I was so tired of doing this nail design, I said, fluff it, here it is. As for the other middle nail design, this is of course inspired by Biss, which is her most iconic merch, and believe it or not, it was somewhat difficult. I first went in with white and, you know, just for the background. I then went in with my toothpick and reddish pink acrylic paint to write out Biss. But my hands were so shaky and I was so tired after doing the Honey nail design that it ended up not really being proportionate. As you can see, it's kind of like at a weird angle, if that makes sense. Oh well, but anyways, so here's the finished two nail designs. Oh great, my phone just went off. It's not already bad enough that my voice is, quote, annoying. Ugh, and then now I can't even, oh well, forget it. So moving on to the next two nail designs, which are going to be on the ring nails. One of them, which has a gray base, is inspired by her newest merch design, as well as her podcast called Rotten Mango. So I'm going to go in with the brown nail polish from the Coastal Craze collection, and I'm actually going to paint on Rotten vertically down the nail, just because it's more more roomy to work with. And because I use nail polish, it takes a little while longer to dry rather than acrylic paint. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go in with my toothpick and different colors of, you know, just regular acrylic paint. I'm just going to write out Mango right up under Rotten. So now we move on to the difficult part. So I first went in with that gray base color and I added a dot on the R and the O. And once again, my camera didn't record, but I went in with like a regular brown acrylic paint and just added like these little designs to make it look like a waffle cone. Okay, so my cat, she's playing around with her toys, so I'm sorry if you hear any rustling in the background. But now what I'm doing is I just went in with my toothpick and white acrylic paint and I outlined every single letter in Rotten. Now, just by going off the reference photo that I was looking at to paint on this design, I'm just going to go in with that excess pink acrylic paint and just paint on like melting ice cream on top. And here's the finished nail design. As for the other ring nail design, this is inspired by her dogs, Mango and Tiger. But instead of painting on the actual Frenchies, I decided just to paint on the paw prints, and to do this, it's really easy. So for the paw print nail design, all I did was I first painted on the upside down heart and then four little toe beans around it. So for this next part, it's completely optional, but for Tiger's paw print, I decided to go around with purple acrylic paint, and for Mango's, I went in with pink. I also decided last minute, but I got rid of the tan, just covered it with white. And here's the finished nail design. Oh my gosh, guys, but we're almost done. So these are the last two nail designs. Both are going to be on the pinky nails. And they're both inspired by Stephanie's fiance, Mr. Mango Butt. So for this one that has a white base, I first draw like a little curved line. I then went in with some black acrylic paint and dotted on two little ears, two little eyes. Yeah, don't forget a little tiny pink heart. I mean, they are engaged after all. And here's the finished nail design. Now for the last nail design. So my hands were cramping like me on my Shark Week, so I just decided to just add this cute little panda nail charm. And unfortunately, I got a little cat hair on my nail art, so yeah, just removing it real quick. It's so hard being a nail artist as well as a cat mom at the same time. But anyways, that's it. So we're finished with the nail art. And yeah, guys, so here it is. Here's the finished Stephanie Sue inspired nail art. Oh, and yeah, for the finish, I chose to go with a matte top coat just because it's my personal fave. But anyways, guys, so let me know down in the comments, unless YouTube disables them, what you thought of today's nail art. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching.